Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to KPGR 88.1 FM, and this is Opinionated. By the way, I named the show.
You've officially named it Opinionated.
I've officially named the show Opinionated,
Gotcha.
so we are that.
Will you be
now.
offended if I call it the Opinionated Morning Show?
Well, that's the idea. The whole point is I am opinionated. And
on
that's
the morning show.
On the morning. You're saying you just tag on the morning show.
Yeah.
I see. Sure, go for
Cool.
it. People are still going to call it the morning show, so I'm not going to be picky about what people call it. Anyway, today I'm joined in the studio by DJ Trex, and we have AI things to talk about. So, AI things to talk about. Obviously, over the last couple months, I'd say maybe, that AI's been like a big thing in the news.
Yeah.
Or just as far as like culture.
AI itself has skyrocketed in popularity thanks to YouTube and things, and also because it's a lot more visual now.
Right.
It used to be kind of text and things like that, but recently I'm sure a lot of people
audio
recognize,
too.
Yeah, that like AI has created art, and there are free websites that it's available free to the public, that it's just huge and everything, but a lot of artists have been worried about whether it will take over their jobs or not.
Yeah. And personally, I think it will take over a certain type of artist job, but I don't think it'll take over all artist jobs.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I think, say like graphic designers, anybody who's making logos and stuff, I think that kind of stuff, if you think about it, if you haven't heard of DALL-E, DALL-E is a website where you can go on, you can describe anything, and it'll give you a picture of it. Give it a prompt, and it'll spit out an image based off of all of the images on the internet. It'll give you what you're looking for.
Clint Eastwood walking to a movie theater playing Good, Bad, and Ugly.
Exactly. I had Hitler burning in HE double hockey sticks as a grandma or something like that. Like just the most random whatever, and it'll actually come up with it. So it's very impressive. But what people, I think, like graphic designers are specifically like, whoa, is it... you can make like logos and stuff for companies which actually look decent. And I think the biggest thing is that people are worried about is obviously it's just going to take their jobs. Right. But I think what they don't realize is that most people, even if it's that convenient, if there's effort that they have to put in and not have somebody else do all of it, that it's still going to be
a job. Yeah,
it's still going to be a job.
Perfect. It's great for the creative and idea side of it.
Yeah.
But it's never, I don't know, I would never take a thing straight out of AI and go, that's my logo. Because they're usually janky.
They have like some kind of janky, like they're pretty good most of the time, but they will always have some kind of little whatever, which I think makes it so it's probably makes a graphic designer's job potentially easier. Because now, say I'm hiring you to make me a logo. Yeah. I can give you whatever stuff I want. You take what I want you to do, give it a prompt, put it into DALL-E.
And use it as inspiration for the...
Either inspiration or literally be like, hey, take that, just clean it up, maybe change out whatever I need to, maybe switch out whatever, make it your own. And now suddenly I can sell that back. And now instead of it being, it just took over my job, it's actually making my job easier.
I'd say it would have improved the technical side of it, but a lot of people find the hardest part being the creative side of it, and that's the piece that is taken away. Okay,
creative side of it meaning
if I'm designing a logo for a cookie company, and the boss of the cookie company is like, we really like these themes in the company, I might enjoy, or I might have been hired because I have a creative mind and can think about different ways that things tie in to that, and then tie it all into a logo.
Right.
But if an AI is doing it, then I lose that creative side of it.
Absolutely. Here's the other thing. So you're saying it's taking over the creative part. Would you consider AI to be creative?
I think creativity has to involve a human.
Okay.
So,
because that's what I've heard from most people, and I think I would probably disagree, but I think it mostly depends on what you actually define creativity as. So what would you say creativity is?
I'd say creativity is this is like a tough definition.
Yeah.
It's the ability to come up with working ideas surrounding a theme.
Okay. Well, so by that definition, AI would be creative.
I see. But I'd say it has to.
But you're also saying part of the definition is it has to have human.
Yeah.
And a human element to it. Okay, interesting. Because from what I've heard, people are saying well, AI is just copying what everybody else is, taking what everybody else has made and making that, using that, so it's not original. And I think my counter to that would be that isn't that kind of what people do?
That's
all we're doing is taking inputs, in millions and millions and millions of inputs and spitting something out based off of all those after we've mixed them all up and put them together into something new. That's exactly what AI does, and AI probably technically does it better because it can organize the inputs better.
And it doesn't get, and it's a computer, so
and
it
it's
doesn't
computer.
get tired.
Yeah. So all the benefits.
I mean, have you seen Russ's video of Everything is a Remix?
Maybe.
So the theme of that video that he showed us in class a couple years ago is everything is a remix and that nothing is original.
I think I remember like 2 years ago, like when I first came into one of his classes.
Anything that you've seen art-wise has been inspired, quote unquote, by something else.
Right.
Or sometimes it blatantly copies.
And that's why they say steal like an artist.
Yeah.
Because I like that. I'm going to take that part of this, use that in my thing. I'm going to, I like that. I'm going to use this in my whatever. Yeah.
And like in Star Wars, the trench run scene, I don't know if it's technically called that, but on the Death Star when he's doing the scene and he blows up the Death Star in that first movie. Yeah. That's like shot for shot, blatantly copied from this airplane movie.
Really?
A couple years before, like
really? They just
shot for shot. It's just different people and places.
That reminds me. Have you ever seen that one thing? It's like they took the thing from Jungle Book, and the one from Winnie the Pooh, and it's the animation. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they
I don't think so.
It's a scene of Mowgli walking and whatever the main character in Winnie the Pooh walking.
Oh wait, yeah, I have.
And it's exactly the same like route and stuff. I can throw up a clip on.
Like it's the same walking animation.
Yeah, same walking animation. Like exactly, they just changed the environment and changed all that kind of stuff.
I do remember that.
I wonder if that's even. I mean, obviously it's easier. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. But I mean, you're still having to change everything in the scene.
Yeah.
It's just that the motion is the same.
But you can still use like the plate of the walkie animation, and you can focus more on the detail.
How do you mean the plate?
Like,
because were they hand drawn back in that time?
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes more sense.
So you could have like copies of the frames, and then just draw over the frame.
Right, trace over it. Except just gotcha.
Yeah,
that
just
does make sense.
Right movement.
Right. Yeah, that does make sense. But yeah, so personally, I think in the short term, I think it'll be very, very helpful to people.
Yes.
But where we're already at, where AI, like say DALL-E, is already able to make logos that are pretty good, not quite there, but pretty good. Give it a couple years, and I think they will be able to just be better than any people in any situation. So short term,
on accessibility.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but like I'm thinking, I don't know, 10, 20 years maybe. I think it'll just be helpful and it'll actually enhance.
Yeah.
Say graphic designers, any kind of artistic whatever.
It'd be super helpful to pitch an idea. That's where I see it coming in a lot, creativity.
How do you mean pitch an idea? So
it's like, here, back to the cookie logo.
Yeah.
I'm designing this cookie logo, and I go, well, here's all my ideas, right? And then some color themes, I'm thinking about this. And so I type into DALL-E, like, green circle with this and this and this in it. And then it gives me some meshes, and I'm just like, it looks similar to some of these.
Right. Yeah, no, that's interesting. Have you also heard of how people, specifically like digital artists, don't like that they think it's a copyright issue of the fact that like DALL-E is scanning all of the internet and taking their things that are copyrighted materials.
Right.
And it's not like directly like cutting out a piece of their image and using it, but it is using it as data.
And some of the problems I've heard with that is that sometimes their signature will get caught onto.
I've seen that one,
onto the AI art.
Which I guess technically does mean it actually is taking.
Yeah.
Maybe not like a direct cutout, but it's clearly using something to scan and go, I want that part. And
yeah, like that part was consistently in something.
Oh, really?
So.
But yeah, that I think. What are your thoughts on that? As far as like, is it a copyright issue? Do you think they can?
Well, this is the research that I did that I told you about a couple days ago.
Okay.
So, recently there was a legal battle about this situation because some guy made a comic book that used AI art. So he designed this whole comic book.
Like entirely? Or
I think entirely. I didn't
yeah.
get too much information on that. and then he released it or something like that, and its copyright was recently taken away because it was using AI art. Off of a law that happened in a lawsuit 9 years ago. AI wasn't too big back then, so what caused that?
Yeah.
And this is a really interesting story because it's about a monkey.
Okay, this is
the monkey.
All right, this is the monkey. Okay, let's hear it.
So there was this guy, I think his name was Naruto. Not kidding.
I think I've heard of this show.
No. And I can't remember if that's the monkey's name or the photographer's name. But this photographer was a wildlife photographer. He goes out into some jungle and trees with endangered species, and he's taking pictures. He leaves a camera on a tripod as he's taking pictures. While he's not attending the tripod directly, a monkey comes down. He picks up the camera, and he's messing around with it, and he ends up taking a picture, like a selfie picture of himself.
That's
and
awesome.
It's a pretty high-quality photo.
Yeah,
like, it's in focus
awesome.
and everything. And so the photographer's like, this is great.
Yeah.
He blows it up, as he should. He sends it all over. He spreads awareness about the endangered species.
Right.
Which is the monkey is the endangered species.
That's awesome.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's this company called PETA.
Oh, no.
And PETA comes along and says, hey, the laws regarding copyright are very specific.
Oh, no.
It says the person that has pressed the shutter button on the camera, the copyright belongs to.
There's no way that they can.
So they tried to sue the photographer on the monkey's behalf, saying the monkey should have the copyright laws. And so there was a whole lawsuit there. The director of PETA and stuff had a bunch of interviews. I watched a few of them. They're all the exact same. It's her trying to explain the same points and everybody interrupting, saying, but you're going for a monkey. But, like, everyone's like.
But it's a monkey, though.
Yeah, but it's a monkey, though. And
that's so funny.
She was like, but they need to be represented. And everyone's just.
Well, I mean, that seems like a pretty clear cut. I mean, if it were any other person, you have a case.
Yes.
But once it involves an animal, you just. How do you
But the monkey is the one that pressed the shutter. So who does the copyright belong to?
Right.
So she took it to court against the photographer.
Yeah.
And then the court, after a while, ruled it that copyright laws must involve a human.
Right.
Now, that's what ties into AI now.
I see.
Because they ruled it that way and said that was constitutional, that the AI art now is not being made by a human. It's being made by a computer.
So you can't copyright it.
Yeah, so it puts its copyright into a gray area that we don't know where it went.
I see. That's interesting. That's really interesting.
So it all started with this super janky story with the monkey, and like everyone's being really mad at PETA for starting this, but it ended up doing something good 8 years later. So
that's funny. So in our examples earlier, where we were talking about like making logos and stuff for companies, just because I don't know, it could apply to anything, commissioning art or whatever, but that kind of stuff. You're saying currently there might not be able to be a copyright on those. If it was directly just asked AI, took it from AI, use it as a logo, it might not be able to be copyrighted.
Right.
It might be hard to tell sometimes or prove that, oh, no, you got it from AI, because you could pretty easily just be like, no, I got it from AI. I edited it in the smallest way possible, and suddenly now I made it.
Human interaction made it mine.
Yeah, but I would wonder if that would change it with the comic book example too, because I would assume you had to do some kind of
because I assume the comic book has like speech bubbles or it's formatted different, so I don't know why that one necessarily got its copyright, but
I wonder was the dude who made it an artist?
I don't know,
because I wonder if he just formatted it and tried to copyright the art, and the art didn't actually qualify. Weird. That's interesting. I don't know, but I think it will be a lot more interesting because right now, obviously, everyone's getting hyped up about AI, although nothing really changed other than it got a little bit better.
Yes.
Because people are kind of talking about how it was like, oh, it's here now, it's whatever, it's because of like ChatGPT and similar whatever. But it was Siri before that; it just was not as good.
Yes.
And also harder
and like YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
And a bunch of stuff.
That too. TikTok too blew it up a lot from what I hear. That's how
Yeah.
my friend, who I heard about it from, found out about ChatGPT.
Oh, cool.
Which I hear they're now using. The English teachers are now warning other English teachers about, and I don't know what they can do about it. If I'm being 100% honest.
Well, I know what they can do because it's the school. They can just block the website.
It's already blocked.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But I mean, you know,
true.
If people find a way around it, which obviously people find a way around it, right? Do it at home or whatever.
For those that don't know, ChatGPT is an AI text.
Mm-hmm.
It's text mostly. So you can say, this is what I need an essay on, and it will give you an entirely quote-unquote original essay that can't be traced back to like one source. Like you're not plagiarizing because it's AI.
Which is a good question because I would consider it original for the same reasons I said it is creative.
Okay. Yeah.
In the same way.
I think I could agree with that because
I can also get on board with your definition though of for it to be creative, it has to involve a human.
Right.
I can get on board with that because I think that's a solid, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think if we excluded that definition, then it would probably arguably be creative because it just has the same, if not more inputs as far as humans do. But I think another interesting thing is before specifically ChatGPT, a lot of people were thinking AI was going to be taking manual labor jobs. You know what I mean? They were thinking it was going to be, you make a robot, the robot can now do what a human does, and then it goes and moves boxes and stocks shelves and whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's true. I think it's probably going to take over jobs specifically jobs done over the internet.
Right.
That entirely done over the internet. If I'm going on to a thing, back to our little logo design, although there's other ones that it could be used for as well, not just logo design or graphic design. I think it could also be used for sales. If you got a good enough AI, it could be used for sales or comedy. I'm gonna go down sales for just.
I'd be worried.
Example.
I don't think it'd work very well for anything that would involve a human on the other end. Like sales, you're talking to a human.
Right.
And I feel like AI's at least now, and I don't think
it's not there yet.
Future,
yeah.
That it couldn't consistently talk to a person and be easy to understand, easy to get along.
Let me tell you why I would disagree. We have ChatGPT, and it kind of feels like you're talking to a human-ish.
Okay.
Obviously, it's not there yet, and it won't be there for another years, right? But my thought is, we already have it in text form. We have voice-to-speech, text-to-speech.
Yeah.
My thought is, what happens when you get an AI that can take the inputs of 20,000 sales calls, we've heard every scenario that people have said of, I'm selling, toilet seat covers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I've heard every response that people have of why they shouldn't buy it or should buy it or whatever, or just every whatever. So now whenever you're on a new call and someone gives a similar or, that same response, you now say, okay, well, these people all gave these responses to that. I can take the best one there and just spit that back at them.
The ones that worked the most.
You know what I mean?
Say it back.
That kind of a deal where you are just now talking to an AI without potentially knowing.
But
obviously not there yet.
Yeah, but the thing is, you wouldn't know.
As
soon as you knew, I think you'd be over, don't you? Say you're trying to buy a house and you're like texting this person and you're like, well, here's the thing, here's this.
Yeah.
And the thing responds like, oh, here's why, blah, blah, blah. And then you find out the person you're talking to isn't real and it's an AI.
Now, that I think is a matter of PR. I think that is 100% what does the public think of AI? Because you already you'll get calls now that are just some robot.
Yes.
Your extended warranty is whatever, right? So people are already used to that kind of thing. Now people are just going to be, once it's smoother, I think it's possible it's going your way where they go, oh, it's an AI, click, hang up. Or, I'm not going to deal with that. But I could also see people going, oh, I'm talking to an AI. So now this thing is going to know how to answer my question perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm trying to get help with something, because it's a computer, it's going to answer my question in the most perfect and correct way.
I wouldn't say perfect. I'd say absolute.
Sure. Absolute. But I would also say for legal reasons, this AI cannot lie.
Yes.
Or twist or as much as a human could.
So would a company even use it?
That's a good point.
Are you scamming me? Yes.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, shall we? I think that's 100% where it could go either way, where I could see people going, oh, it's an AI, whatever. Or I could see people going, oh, thank heavens it's an AI. This is going to get me to my, this is going to get my problem solved so much faster. So instead of going, let me put you on hold, I'll have to send you over to this person, and I'll put you on hold and send you over to this person, you're waiting for 40 minutes, it's going, I already know all this, how to deal with all this, here's the answer, here's the whatever, because it's all centralized. So you don't need 10 different people who know 10 different things to solve one issue. You can get one
that
AI
would be a benefit.
You know what I mean?
As you're not jumping around calls. It'd be a lot faster, too.
Yeah. And I also think there's ones like comedy. I think comedy is one that once AI really gets developed could be taken over a lot easier than people think. Because the way comedians get a lot of their jokes now, not get their jokes, but the way they test out their jokes is just a lot of like trial and error. Squints, are you saying things when we're in the? You can jump on a mic, You can share. What have you got?
No, I said something I shouldn't say.
No. So as far as comedy goes, if like just watching podcasts with comedians, what they end up doing is they're going to their shows and they do little shows and they're testing out the jokes and seeing how the audience reacts for every single one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they're getting the response and going, okay, that didn't work as well, so I'll go to this. And then after like 4 years, usually 2 to 4 years, they'll come out with a comedy special where they've refined every joke and they've got everything down and they've got the comedic timing down and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So it's very funny. I think AI could do that whole 4-year process if it just got enough inputs, if it watched enough comedy shows and watched enough of this and watched how people react and watched what the timing is, analyzed all that, it could do that whole 2-year process in milliseconds. You know what I'm saying?
So one thing I want to point out is the way you're describing the process that AI learns. It is trial error,
sure.
Just constantly putting in data because it can't make connections without it.
Right.
And that's what I think is so funny about AI right now. One of the reasons it's getting so hyped and companies are supporting it is just so they can have free testing.
Wait, say that again.
So basically companies are supporting like AI art and like creating this stuff and sending it to the public with free trials so that they can
you're saying like the way chat
it needs to be
which is why it's free processed.
Right now. Because I helped my dad write an AI from scratch for a website, and it was basically when someone asks for like a refund, it pulls trigger words out, and then it says, oh, they want this, refund, give them this response and this link.
Gotcha.
And it was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Because I was going through like comment after comment of them asking questions that just have the word refund, none of them having to do with like a certain kind of refund. And people are bad at English apparently, so
you have to account for spelling errors.
And there was a guy who was like, I had a $5 off thing and I want my $5, and I'm like, you're really going through all this
trouble to get $5
$5.
Yeah. People don't have enough to do. That's funny. But it is interesting that's why it's all free right now, is just so they can get a bunch of data from everybody so it can actually get better.
One of the weird things, though, is we've been training AI for a while, and people don't realize it. Every time you get one of those select traffic lights,
I have heard about these.
That's teaching
what are they called?
Computers to recognize.
The reCAPTCHA?
Yeah.
With the
and
text.
Then anytime you get one of those, type the letter back, like type the phrase in, and it's like really warped letters. Those are letters that the computer can't read.
Right.
And you're teaching the computer how to
be able to read them.
It's really weird.
DJ, I'm pretty sure this is DJ Patches, said AI art sucks though, which...
Yes.
Well, here's the thing though, does it? Because I think it sucks as much as humans suck. It's just the accumulation of all of what humans have made and
I see what you're
splatting it all down onto one thing.
I see the point. If someone actually made the same thing as an AI art piece, which might look crappy, and said it was art, would people really be upset about it, or would they say this is pretty cool that someone made this?
Yeah.
Can I say something? DJ Squints, you really think AI art is bad? No. Okay, who said it was bad?
DJ Patches.
Patches? Okay, listen here, DJ Patches. Now that art is technically created by a human when you think about it. Like when you insert that prompt, okay, that is like you telling the robot what to make. Like the robot.
I would say it's prompted by a human, not made by a
Okay.
human.
I mean, it's a collaborative effort.
It's based off of art that is
But
made
also,
by a human.
like every generation I've ever gotten has like some principle of art to it, whether it be like value, like conscious, or like something. Like the fact that it is able to make something like that is like better than most humans drawing. You know, like it's able to create something that's like, how do I put this? Actually worth something. And like, and I don't know. I feel like everyone just is like underestimates it just because it was done by a robot. But hey, maybe the robot worked hard on that too.
She does want
know?
to clarify what she's saying. She says, "I'm not saying the art itself is bad. I'm saying it's art still, but it's
idea
hurting
of it
human
is bad.
artists and ruining their ability to grow because of AI." So she just doesn't like that AI art is
I definitely
changing
think-
how art works as far as artists go.
I think in the professional field, AI can definitely do a lot of the stuff humans will do, like design and like stuff like that. AI could definitely take that over. But if we're talking like an actual artist, like makes money off their paintings, that I don't think I can ever see AI taking that over. Like if you're like I'm talking like Mona Lisa style, like paintings, museum.
No,
Well,
I have a question.
Here's what I think, because
know,
I think
like,
you're
just, like-
looking at art as a skill, and I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Because I look at art, and I think the biggest thing that makes art valuable is how popular it is. Because 100%, Leonardo was skilled in whatever, but there's also people that have been more skilled and not gotten to that level of fame simply because of either the story behind it or what everybody else thinks of it. It's kind
the
of more
most-
of the sorry, go.
Well, we have humanities together, and a lot of the art we're looking at is famous because it applied to one situation specifically.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing. Oh man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that I'm gonna call them tangible artists?
Okay.
As
Traditional artists.
Traditional
Well, I guess that's
artists
versus digital, but yeah.
Anyway, against digital.
Sure.
Do you guys see? I see digital artists fighting this because it is a digital art.
Yeah.
Do you guys see traditional artists getting more popular because their art it could be more valuable now?
It's possible, but at the same time, eventually AI. I mean, I talked to DJ Sketch about this a while ago. It's like there already is also robots that are actually physically drawing things and painting
Yeah,
things
that's
and whatever.
true.
But you're saying it's tough because physical art can only get popular in a local space. You know what I mean? Because you have to physically be there, or else it's just another picture and then it's digital art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So it can only get so big because of the
limited,
limitations of
yeah.
you have to actually physically be there, or else it is digital art suddenly.
You're right.
Real quick, before we wrap up the show, if you have a quick answer on, do you think, if you had a prediction of when, what I've heard called the singularity, which is when AI is now smarter than humans, and at that point, if it's smarter than humans, it can make itself smart, or not necessarily smarter than humans, but it's smart enough to make itself smarter,
To be self-improving.
and at that point, it's just exponential of
Yeah.
being able to be exponentially smart. If you had to guess, if that would happen, if it will or not, and if it will, when?
Yes, 2001.
Gotcha. Good
Definitely.
answer. Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, that was
Was that a
Space Odyssey reference.
I mean, I saw a documentary about it, guys.
A
I've never seen
documentary.
I haven't seen Space Odyssey.
That's
Basically-
the theme of it.
There's a robot that gets really smart and it starts killing people in order to
But not
preserve
like-
its own self.
Not like
Preserve its mission,
Not like
It tries to preserve
Yeah.
its
like just people
goals.
on a spaceship.
People
and
are just
him.
and he tries
Huh.
killing everyone on the spaceship.
just because they're in the way or something.
No, because they're like trying to compromise the mission he's doing.
But
he can't tell him about the mission, like that they're not supposed to compromise it. And also they're thinking of killing him, and the robot is like semi-self-aware, and it's like, okay, I don't want to end. And so he decides to do what any logical person would do and remove obstacles.
Interesting. What do you think, Trex?
I don't know. Right now, AI is not necessarily being put in robots unless it's for a very specific task, and I don't think that task would be...
Does it have to be put in robots?
I think so. If it's digital, it's just like...
Well, I think it's more
someone
scary
makes
if
it
it's
canceling
digital.
AI.
I would say it's...
Is that canceling AI?
I think it's more
Twitter
scary...
account that just digs up.
I would think it's more scary if it's digital, because if it's digital and it gets smart enough to improve itself, it has access to the internet and everything that's on it. So now not only can it take over systems, it's kind of like what Ultron did in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, okay.
He can take over systems and now just build itself a body or a physical thing that it can move around.
I'm getting in your face. You ever read the Ready Player One franchise?
Yes.
Book 1 and 2?
I have not read book 2.
Book 2 is like all about an AI that
Yeah.
like goes insane, and like basically like they can't really outsmart it because it has read the entire internet within the span of 15 seconds. And like it's just constantly, it like knows everything about them, so it's like always able to predict their next move. And so that's really scary to me. But also personally, I think AI will never be like an issue. Like to like our safety wise, like it could definitely screw some stuff up. Like I don't know, it hardly will ever get to the point where it would want to do something bad to us. And like if it did, like what is it going to do? Like it could harm the internet. You know, it could maybe like hack traffic lights and like bank accounts and stuff. Like all the damage it can do, though, is like digital. Like we'll still be fine.
Well, no, but
IRL.
what happens when it takes over machines that build things? CNC machines or laser, whatever, to actually build machines. Now it has a physical thing that it
Then
can
we just
build.
shut down those machines. It's a robot. It can't be that hard to fight. Like,
Okay.
bro.
But if it is over the entire internet, how are we going to shut down those machines?
If it's
Manually?
Well, if it's stronger than we are.
if it's on the
It
internet,
won't be.
it's hard to permanently remove something from the internet because you could back something up. Now, what I want to say real quick.
Okay, 30 seconds because we've got to go.
It's possible, but I don't think anytime soon, even in like 20, 30 years, AI will become self-conscious.
Oh, I don't think
That is such a big thing.
Yeah.
And these AIs we have are small. This AI can do art.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be able to replicate the entire human where they can learn and do new tasks.
Right.
That's just impossible.
I don't know about impossible, but I would agree it's going to be a long time before anything near that happens. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. This has been the AI Show. Thank you, DJ Trex, for coming on. And we're going to end the show there. This has been Opinionated on KPGR 88.1 FM. Up next, we have Robbers by the 1975.